So we all grew up reading stories by the famous Dr. Seuss, who is a children's author, but one thing that we may not be aware of is this author's intended meaning behind each story that he's written. So today in particular, I would like to discuss one of Dr. Seuss's most popular books called The Lorax. And I'd like to talk about the relevancy that this message has on us in our world today. Since the Industrial Revolution, technology has really tremendously advanced as businesses began to take off, but unfortunately, industries get caught up in their success and will ignore their environmental impacts, which are very detrimental to our world. So in the story of the Lorax, there's a character called the Onceler. He began cutting down the truffula trees, using them to make his thneed or his product, hoping to generate a profit and become successful. And in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping truffula trees. Oh, how my business did grow! Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm in charge of the brown Barbaloots who played in the shade of their Barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round. And my Barbaloots are all getting the crummies. They have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and businesses must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know? I meant no harm. I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seed. And the truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack, then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. So the Onceler in this story pretty much represents the millions of different industries who care more about their personal success and the money that they're generating rather than the impacts that they have on the environment. This book essentially replicates real life and is basically an environmental warning, as it's portraying businesses constantly taking from the environment as we are left with nothing but a degraded ecosystem. So the Lorax mentions how the Barbaloots no longer have a stable food supply to support themselves or even shelter to survive, and now have to find a new home to live in or a new environment. And so putting this into realistic terms, when we obtain excessive resources from the environment, we are destroying many homes and habitats of different species and their ecosystems. Also, the last truffula seed symbolizes kind of like our last chance to change and become more ethical in our business practices, before the world cannot sustain us anymore, and it becomes unlivable pretty much. So we must be aware that our actions are ultimately impacting others, and with proper consideration of the environment, we may be able to restore our world back to health.